Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Tribal Trades, the daily show coming here on a Saturday evening, although this will be pushed out early Sunday morning. And usually there is not much price difference between when I do my videos and when they go actually posted to YouTube. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but although this will be going live around 3 a.m. in the morning Pacific Standard Time, which is about 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about 3 hours before the opening of the stock market, but we do already have the futures trading open, and it looks like there is going to be a bit of a bloodbath in the US stock market. Anyway, if you haven't smashed the like, please, if you can do that for me, I'd be much appreciated. This helps get this content out to more people. And of course, all the questions and comments, I really appreciate that. Love the support. Means a lot to me. And for all those of you in the Discord, man, that was some busy day just chatting in there and seeing the different range of emotions. And certainly it's a great place to be. The stockswithjosh.com Discord in the crypto channel. Join that community, the best Discord community going around anywhere. Okay, so we've got some stuff to cover today, and we're going to jump straight into it. And first of all, we have the stocks are having a bit of a issue because, as you can see here, the Japanese markets has worst day in history. The Korean stock market, they've suspended trading. The Australian market's said to be destroyed. Thanks for that. And the US stock market futures kind of at the moment seem to be that there might be a bit of a COVID-style crash tomorrow morning. Print urgently, Janet, then retire, please. We need fresh minds. So we're going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. Certainly, it'll be a very interesting day on the stock market and in crypto. And we see here the NASDAQ 100 index is now trading below 18,000 and just 6.5% away from entering bear market territory. But 18 days ago, it was trading at new all-time highs. So the Magnificent Seven have raised nearly 500 billion of market cap. So that's pretty incredible there. Things have shifted just in a very, very short space of time. So if you are trading stocks or crypto, there could be a lot of volatility tomorrow. There's the Korean stock exchange crashing, and it has now suspended trading. We saw ETH selling off pretty heavy in the crypto market, and Jump, awesome guys, Jump Capital, they sold all of their ETH today. That number is too big. With how many? I don't know. They just basically kept selling until they were all out. Literal blatant market manipulation, says Kale here. So very interesting there with Ethereum. That being said, I've said this before on the channel that I don't panic sell and I don't panic buy. The only time I'll sell at the bottom or near the bottom or in a dump is to rotate into another token. So I did take my Ethereum spot hodl position and roll it actually into Bitcoin. And also I'll say that I closed my Solana position in profit, my trade position in profit, just in profit, by the way, barely. And then also, I'll also say this, that it's always best to have a plan in place, to have all your buy levels set. I always say this, number one, know how much budget you have to work with and don't overextend yourself, okay? Number two, know and identify which coins you're going to buy and how much you're going to spend on each of those coins, and then split up those buy amounts in dollar cost average segments. Then number three, determine what are the areas that you are going to buy in at. And it's okay if you buy and you buy and buy, and then it keeps going down a little bit more. And you're like, oh, there's no more, I don't have any more powder to buy. And I said it yesterday, those who try and pick bottoms get smelly fingers. And someone said to me on YouTube, you got to find a better to say. And it's not me, it comes from CoinsKid, but it does ring true with me that I don't try and time the bottom or time the top. Okay, I dollar cost average in and I dollar cost average out on the way up. And that's the way I've found to be most consistent consistently able to make profits in this market. And sometimes I do get the bottom. Sometimes I do get it bang on. And so I think it's just very important to have a plan. Those who fail to plan to fail. And so having that strategy in place, not, oh, should I buy some more of this now, here, and whatever, that decision should have been made a while ago, not on the spur of the moment. Now, you can evaluate your plan, you can assess your plan, you can adapt it and change it and evolve, but really it shouldn't involve spur of the moment kind of emotional buying or selling there, okay? You should know that if you want to have a stop loss to get out of the market, you can either do that in a manual. You don't have to have it set up automatically. When you go to bed, obviously, you would likely want to do that. But you can also just stop out of a trade manually and say, hey, yep, this is where I determined I'd get out. But just have a plan in place for that. Don't be winging it, okay? All right, so the next one that we have here is Jump have been moving coins relentlessly for 22 hours straight. That means they got people to work shifts, dumping their books on a liquid weekend following the worst stock market day in years. So Jump Capital, they're market makers. They provide liquidity to the market. I would rather call them market manipulators than market makers. So I did pick up some tokens. I picked up some more Tau. I picked up some more Arweave. I picked up a little bit more of a few positions. I did share it in the Discord just a little bit because the Bitcoin dominance was really pumping. And when I realized that this was going to be a real full-blown pump, I certainly just took a step back out of the market and didn't try and catch a falling knife, okay? So biggest two-day drop for the Nikkei in history. Well done, Japan. Surpassing Black Monday. Wow, that is absolute brutal. And how does this affect the US? I'll explain in a minute. Japan's stock market is now down 12% over the last 5 days and officially in bear market territory. It's given up all of its gains in just 3 weeks. So what happened was Japan, their Fed, I don't know what they call them, they actually raised interest rates for the first time in like 30 years, okay? And the market didn't react very kindly to it in Japan. It didn't react very kindly to it here either on Friday, as we saw. And the reason is because they were borrowing this yen at 0% because there was no interest rates. For 30 years, they've been able to put that money into the US stock market, into T-bills and the NASDAQ, etc. And now with the interest rates going up, they're no longer getting that free money to borrow that money with no interest. So, of course, they were just repaying the money as they made money. Now they're taking that money out of the US market and they're repaying that money because they don't want to pay interest on it. So that's how that's been working. And that's why we've seen a real sell-off in the stock market, and that kind of triggered it. And we'll see what Japan does. We'll see what the US does tomorrow, because it is going to be, I'm definitely going to be there ready and watching and waiting. There could be some good bargains, some good buy the dip opportunities on the US stock exchange. But again, don't risk money that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, so we also had here the CME Gap was printed, but a new one was opened. Okay, so I told everybody on here about the CME Gap and how it looks to get closed. As soon as we hit 70, I thought, it would be a surprise if we didn't come back and revisit and fill that gap and retest the 200 EMA on the daily before we keep going up. And we see that new gap that was created here. We have a new gap now, obviously, up to about 62.5. So we could see a little bit of a relief rally, but of course we could go down a little bit further before we come back and fill that gap. And that might be a place, if you feel like you're a little bit over leveraged or you've got a bit too much in the market, that could be a good place just to get out of the market. Look, your peace of mind and your mental health is the most important thing that you could have. So just please make sure that you're not in a position where you're putting money in that you should not be putting in, okay? So we've got that new gap happening and going on. And as I said, Bitcoin dominance wicked to 58%. We'll have a look at that in a moment when we look at the Bitcoin chart. But I did tell, look, I posted this yesterday. I've been posting this the last few days as Bitcoin dominance started to take off. And I said Bitcoin dominance plus Bitcoin price dropping equals alts getting absolutely destroyed. And that's why I just didn't do a whole lot of buying today. I picked up a little bit here and there. I lowered my average position. That's what I wanted to do. I just wanted to lower my average position on a few so that when we do pump, I'll be in profit a little bit quicker. I also wanted to accumulate a little bit more now and a few other coins as well. So I was able to do that as well. I was able to pick up a little bit more Bitcoin as well, which was great. So, and I was able to close my Solana position in profit as well, which was great. So in the end, the way that you look at it is that while Bitcoin dominance is still pumping and while USDT dominance is still pumping, it's sometimes just a better time just to sit out. And look, here's the deal. I would rather actually buy a coin a little bit higher when I have a confirmed reversal than just buy a falling knife that's going down, just hoping that I manage to magically catch the bottom, which for the most part was very difficult to do. So we'll just see what happens over the next few, next 8 to 10, 12 hours, I guess, very, very soon. In fact, when this video goes live, it will have the stock market will open in just a few hours. So the M2 money supply is breaking out. You know the drill. Generally, when the M2 money supply starts to break out, there is going to be some bullish momentum. So this is going to be very interesting. It kind of feels weird. The M2 money supply is breaking out, yet we're crashing, recession, what's going on? But certainly I think there is some bullish news, and I do want to share everything from all different aspects that generally when we have the M2 money supply breaking out, usually it's a good time to buy. And so this could end up being quite a good buy the dip opportunity this week. Certainly, while noobs are panic selling, whales are panic buying. You can see there that the whales are just picking up more Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. And then you have, while you were scared, whales bought the highest Bitcoin ever since October 2014. What will be very interesting is the ETF inflows and outflows on Bitcoin and Ethereum, because if they're, remember, the ETFs couldn't sell off over the weekend. If they sell hard on Monday, then physical Bitcoin and physical Ethereum will get sold off as well, which will apply further pressure to the market. So that's just something to keep in mind. And I do talk a lot about the 200 EMA on the daily. Bitcoin, when this was posted, it says Bitcoin just touched the 208. Now it's broken through and it closed below it. But in the past, this has always been a major bottom signal. And this is why I put so much importance on it, because whenever we've gone down, you look, we just continued to go up and up each time. So let's see what happens here. If this does turn out to be a black swan event, we could obviously drop a whole lot further than this. And so again, trade carefully, but there are some bullish signals out there as well as all the bearish news. The VIX spiking is not bullish at all. And I hope you do add the VIX to your trading view chart when that is absolutely bullish and up. Stocks are going to be down, and that can be a good opportunity usually to buy the dip and trade. But let's also not catch a falling knife on stocks tomorrow. Have a plan before the stock market comes out, what levels you're going to buy out, how much you're going to spend. You can set those orders up, and then you can relax, and if they get hit, they hit, and if they don't, they don't. That's how I like to trade. It's a lot less stressful, and then you're emotionally not panic selling or panic buying when there are major market movements, okay? And so Bitcoin has been the winning horse in this bull market. Very few altcoins have outperformed Bitcoin so far in this bull market. And is the bull market over? That's the question. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because I think the Fed, worst comes to worst, will step in. They'll turn the money printer on. They'll cut rates. And I think that will cause a little bit of recovery. Now, obviously, some altcoins might take time to recover. I think Bitcoin will take a lot quicker to recover. Certainly, I will update my thoughts if anything changes in the markets tomorrow, but my general feeling is it's more probable because it's always probabilities. I never like to speak in certainties, but it's more probable that we're still in the bull market and we'll still finish the bull market in the fourth quarter of 2025. And that's how I see it at the moment. And certainly I'll update if my thoughts change on that. And then just kind of finishing up the news here before we jump into the charts is the SARM recession indicator. We shared about this yesterday, but I want to just update you on this. I mean, here's the deal. This is more fear than anything because America has always gone off 2 negative consecutive quarters of GDP as being in a recession. They didn't in 2022 when that happened because Yellen said at the time that unemployment wasn't high enough and therefore this recession never happened. So they redefined what a recession is. However, it's interesting that unemployment is up. The SARM recession indicator is triggered, but GDP is up. So why is it that when GDP had 2 negative quarters and unemployment wasn't high enough, but now unemployment is high enough, but GDP isn't negative, and we haven't had 2 negative quarters? Only people are talking about a recession. I just feel that there's a lot of funny business going on here, a lot of market manipulation at play. And so, unfortunately, we can't control other people whether they panic sell or not, and it can affect us if we don't and we hold and we aren't driven by this fear narrative. But certainly you have to do what you have to do to protect your capital, and this is where stop losses can be effective. You either have to control your position size or you need to control your stop loss there. Okay, so you can see here with the VIX that it really peaked. And when the VIX is up like this, stocks will be down. So we're going to expect a real heavy sell-off in the stock market come Monday. And it's just VIX, the volatility index. It can be a good indicator when it's peaking that you could buy the dip, although the stock market dip could be pretty heavy tomorrow. Be careful. And obviously when it's really down, that can be a signal to sell and get out of the market. And we did want to look at Bitcoin dominance here. And Bitcoin dominance, again, haven't seen a reversal yet. It just keeps going up. It tagged 58. And so I'll be watching that carefully. I'm likely not going to want to jump into the altcoin market until we see a bit of a reversal on the Bitcoin dominance there. Because right now, if it just keeps going up and Bitcoin price is bearish, then alts are going to keep dropping, okay? So very, very important. And also, if you look at USDT dominance, which I also track here, you can see that is because people are taking profits, so there's more money into USDT. Also, there could be people cashing in some dollars to USDT ready to buy the dip as well. But certainly a reversal there is also a signal. So those are two important things, the USDT dominance and the Bitcoin dominance, as well as the VIX there, can be very useful indicators looking at those things. Okay, and so let's look at Bitcoin pricing now. And remember, the hash ribbons buy indicator has signaled a buy signal. And generally then when that's happened, Bitcoin has not closed below the local low, which happened down there around the 4th of July. Now, we certainly wicked down there into that 53, even touched 52, but currently we're at 54. So I'll be looking for the daily close tomorrow, and I'll be looking also at the weekly close as well. But certainly a black swan event can change things. Just because historically it's not really happened before doesn't mean it can't happen. We did see Bitcoin make its all-time high before the halving, which has never happened before. Are we going to see a hash ribbons indicator flash and get a close below the previous local low here at around some price there around 50, 53 and change? And so we'll just keep an eye on that. So far, it's doing okay. I mean, when you look at it, I drew these trend lines a long time ago, And we're just respecting that. So far, we've come down and tagged here. We didn't quite come down here and tagged here. We've tagged the top here numerous times, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times. I would say another couple of times that we're going to be through here. Obviously, we really just dropped heavy through the 50-day moving average. We dropped through the 61 support like it wasn't even there. And we completely dropped through the 200 EMA there as well. And I did, if you haven't watched yesterday's video, go back and show you that. And we obviously saw it in a news article today, how much of a buying opportunity uses that 200 EMAs. But this just feels a little bit different. This feels like this could be a bit of a black swan event. We certainly, Japan, a major economic power, just had its worst day in history on the stock market, and that's going, and Korea now has suspended trading. We're about to see what's going to happen in the US. So I'm definitely not encouraging people to be buying this particular dip, as particularly while the Bitcoin dominance is so peaking. But having a bit of a nibble and picking up a few dollar cost average buys, being smart with your capital, can be a intelligent thing to do. Certainly there isn't any, I picked up a little bit today because I just wanted to average out a little bit, and it felt like we could be at a bottom, and maybe that was the bottom. Maybe that wick down was it. Maybe we'll drop down further. You do feel that maybe this Bitcoin dump was pricing in what was going to happen in the stock market on Monday, but you generally get that feeling, and the RSIs are really oversold, so there is some seller exhaustion there. There could be a little bit more of a sell-off of stocks, but I think most people today were selling knowing that stock market was going to go and that there could be more selling coming up. So it's certainly going to be an interesting time. It's not catch a falling knife. I'm always preferred to wait until there's a confirmed reversal. Okay, I want to see Bitcoin dominance come down. I want to see the Bitcoin price kind of recover or at least stabilize and go sideways. This will give altcoins a chance to recover and maybe have a little bit of a run. This could end up being generational buying opportunity right here. And so I don't think we should live in fear, but also I feel that we should have some wisdom here as well as to not jumping all in at one price at one level, and making sure that we have capital in case there is even a better buying opportunity. Like I said, there's some news articles there thinking that there's, based on the pre-market trading and futures trading that opens on Sunday nights before the market, that there could be a bloodbath COVID style. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what the Fed does. It's going to be a very interesting day. Stay safe out there. And until the next episode here at Tribal Trades, I want to wish you happy trading.